well, let's talk about something real quick that can add to that stigma, right? And I think this is important. You said the light bulb went off, about a year ago. You got to change. You changed your background and stuff. But I want to bring up, there's still jokes that are made that that don't necessarily, they don't fit today. And I want to play one for you really quick and just kind of get your reaction to this. Okay, so this is yeah. So you know where this is going, and I want to watch this so we all understand what's going on here.
Make this quick. All right, boys, prepare the slave trade. We're selling her right off for profit. You know how much I love you, right?
Oh, all the way to the moon.
Scared you just look at that sky and remember that, okay?
Okay.
Put the kid in the vehicle. Stay with her.
That's right. She's too valuable to escape. She's worth lots of money.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So what's going on there, man? Let's talk about that. How does that when you see that? When you see that, how does that make you feel? What are you thinking? Do you regret saying that? Is that edgy humor?
Well, first of all, I have an honest question for you guys. You've now seen it. I don't know if Adam has ever seen that clip before. Okay.
No,
Is that the first time? Okay. What do you think the joke was there? I'm just curious. What do you think I was trying to joke about?
That you're selling that girl to the slave trade?
Okay.
That's what it sounded like, and that's pretty fucked up.
Okay. Now, from what reference do you think, how can I say this? Okay, I'll approach it from the detractor perspective. Okay, from the detractor perspective.
No, I want to hear your perspective of what you meant.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll do both.
It's pretty obvious what the detractors mean. For me, that would have put me on the detractor side because it sounds like you were making a joke about selling that little girl to the slave trade. How is it not that? What did you mean?
Oh no, that's absolutely, that's the joke. But there's a difference between saying that's okay and it's funny or the ridiculousness of the situation. See, you just saw that clip completely out of context, correct? You don't know what's going on in the game right there.
Okay, explain the context then.
That sheriff is a corrupt sheriff. He is actually orchestrating a situation to try to murder people inside a building to protect his secrets. He's like a dark guy who controls the whole town. And no one knows this. Everyone thinks the sheriff's a squeaky clean guy. So this is being revealed throughout the plot of the game. He's a scumbag, right? So the joke is this guy's such a scumbag. He's saying to the dad, I'm going to save your daughter. Give me your daughter. Let's take him in and rescue her. But in reality, he's such a scumbag. He'd probably do something like that. He'd probably, traffic people. That's the joke. Now, is it a joke that's acceptable by today's standards? By 80% of people, probably not. I agree with you.
Do you think that's a joke? Do you think that's a joke acceptable by any standards? I don't.
Even a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago.
And it's I just want to hear your thoughts on that because I think there's edgy content, then there's inappropriate content, and we've all been guilty of edgy content before, So
I think it's dark humor. It's definitely skirting the risque. Okay, not to say that I've heard much worse, obviously, from other people, but that doesn't make it okay for me to do it. I know that. And there's
especially with what's following you around your reputation, right? Do you think that if the light truly went off in your head to say I got to change, don't you think it would be well, maybe I should bite my tongue on this one? I may be thinking it, but how about I bite my tongue on this?
Yes, I 100% agree with you. And it's a working process. It's something that has to happen naturally over time. It's not something that can be a switch that's flipped because, again, I was someone who's done this for 15 years back in the day. That's what people came to watch. That's the content they wanted from me. That's what got me popular on YouTube. That kind of ridiculous, unacceptable, over-the-top, dark humor joke, okay? Today, it's not acceptable. I know that. But the thing is, those jokes still click in my head. I absolutely should have not done that joke. I will tell you that right now, 1,000,000%. But it's a working process. And here's where you have to have some kind of an air of fairness, or at least you have to see the big picture. All right? I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing it full-time for a job since 2011. I do it 6 days a week full time. 6 days a week I'm here full time streaming. I have over 100,000 videos on the internet. Okay, people will always find something that moment of weakness, that stupid thing that I said. And I know, stupid Phil, why the hell did I make that joke? But once it's out there, and all you can do is apologize for it, say you're going to do better, and try not to do it, and move on. Now, there's a reason why I'm on this show today. Okay, this is what, March 16, 2023, and you had to show a clip, one random clip from last summer. You didn't show something I did in the last week, the last month. You showed something from the one moment of weakness. Whenever I do something stupid on the internet, it gets hyper analyzed, looked in with a microscope and blown away. This is what Darksydephil is. Have you watched the last 5 years of content I've put out? There's probably, okay, yes, I'm a human. I make errors. Absolutely. And I'm stupid and I do dumb stuff when I get over emotional. This is not the norm on my streams. People see that clip out of context like you guys just did. And if all you knew of Darksydephil was that joke, you would hate my guts. You'd be like, what a scumbag. He made a joke about child trafficking. What kind of a horrible person thinks child trafficking is funny? When you watch it in context, it's not as bad, but it's still bad. But when you watch
the context that you explained didn't make it any better, I'll be honest.
That's fine. I agree.
Because
that's fine.
I'm not sure which character you're even like portraying. So were you acting as the sheriff in that situation?
Yes. That's why I did. That's why I did like the accent. Yes.
I don't know. I think that like in a situation like that, like we live in a society now where like, look, I understand that going into this interview that literally every second of this is going to be analyzed, and Adam understands that and you understand that, right? But and literally everything you say, there's a camera on you at all times, especially when you're a live streamer, and I mean, for somebody who does this for a living, I just feel like you have to be able to bite your tongue at sometimes, and you need to know better. You said it yourself, the switch was flipped, and I understand that. I totally understand. I am very forgiving of mistakes, right? But when there's a pattern of these things that go back over the course of time, like it's no longer a mistake. It's a continuation. So I don't know. I think, look, if you're saying that I'm also a big believer in taking people at their word, right? Up until their actions show different. So you're saying that over the course of since that joke, you've been pretty squeaky clean, and you haven't made inappropriate jokes like that are that edgy, I guess. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want to say that because I'm here 6 days a week full time. That's a lot of my life, and I guarantee you, if I say, man, yeah, that was it, Craig, that's all I remember. Immediately, There'll be other examples tossed out right now. They'll find it, right? I understand.
And that's the problem is when you are 100% on the internet at all times, with the amount of content I put out on the internet, they will always find another example or whatever. I am actively trying to change. What I will say is this. You would be challenged in the last maybe 2-3 years to really find a running pattern of me doing really bad jokes like that. Okay, maybe you'll find a few. I'm definitely a flawed individual, but you're not going to find it as like you wouldn't say, oh, here's 47 times within a year that Phil did that. I know for a fact he's a scumbag, right? You'll find one time here, one time here, one time here, and then they blow
Phil,
it up on the internet.
You just gave so many different people a reason to do exactly that.
Oh, they will. I know that, but the thing is, they do it anyway. It doesn't matter what I say or do. This is what they do. So
now you said that the switch in your brain, was off, so that you made that joke. Like, do you have it in there that it's like thinking like when you said that you're like maybe that was too much, or you were just free flowing and that's just kind of you?
Let me put it this way: if I'm streaming and a joke pops into my head, and I feel, oh man, that's probably too much today, I usually will not say it. Usually, it would be maybe an extenuating circumstance, or just for a second, a momentary lapse. I feel like what that was a momentary lapse because I've done it for so long. I get this weird observational humor in my head, and my brain is going a million miles a minute. Here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke, right?
But do you think that's observational humor though? Like I don't like it's, I don't know. Like I'm not one to like, there are people who make like there are comedians who make jokes and they're edgy and such like that. I guess, do you fancy yourself as a comedian? Like, because you're telling us that people come to your streams to watch you, rage react to streams and things like that. I don't necessarily, and I don't know. I'm asking, and I think this is probably a better question for your fans. Are they coming to watch for those edgy jokes, or are they coming to watch you rage? Because I don't know, man. It doesn't fit. That's
I
a
agree
really.
with you. I agree. I actually agree with you today. I should not have made that joke. I know that. That today you're 100% correct. 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, it was a different climate on YouTube, and people were looking for that. That's who I was, and now I'm
So
not.
this was last year, you said?
That was probably summer of last year. Yeah.
So, because it just feels like a big leap from going from a sheriff who is like trying to kill people to seeing a little black girl and thinking a slave trade. You know what I mean?
Now you said it. Now you said it.
See
You
what?
said you said black girl.
It was on
That's
screen.
correct. That's correct. And herein lies the problem.
What?
I didn't think that. In my mind,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
You're
matter.
right. You're right. You're right. I agree with you. But in my mind, I didn't even see that. I didn't think that. That's,
Okay.
the joke was, this is a scumbag sheriff. He's literally lying to everyone. If he's going to traffic someone for profit, I wouldn't be shocked. It wasn't, she's a black girl going to the slave trade. And that's stupid of me. Why the hell did I not make that connection in my head? Because I'm stupid.
Okay.
I admit that. I'm dumb.
I don't know if I believe that.
You don't have to. That's fine.
Okay.
You don't have to believe me. I can't make you believe me. I didn't think of it at one moment. Did I ever think, oh, she's a black girl, make a slavery joke? Absolutely not. It was about child trafficking, essentially, and that this guy would have probably done that because he's such a piece of garbage.
Okay.
Let's talk about your. I feel like we can.
Okay.
I feel like we can go on for for an hour about this clip, but
Let's move on.
12-hour show coming up, folks.
Right.
Is there things that go on that, like, in your head that might, because the way it sounds, like, it seems like you kind of just fly off the handle sometimes and do shit and say shit that that gets you in trouble. Like, I mean, it almost feels like I need to be worried about you, dude. Like, what's going to happen next? You say you've changed, but it turns out that racist video with the little girl was only like 7 months ago. It wasn't a year ago. That's pretty recent, dude.
You can say it's you can say it's racist. That was not what I was making a joke about.
Bro, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. The internet thinks it's racist. I saw it, and it's fucking racist. So you're talking about a killer who's killing people in their basement, and then so you're bringing up the slave, like sending a little girl off to the slave trade. I don't know. It's pretty obvious. All right. So I know you claim that it isn't, but it really did sound that way. But that's whatever. I don't know, man. It just feels like.
No, Craig, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I still can't hear you, Craig.
What the heck happened?
I got tired of his bullshit. No, I'm just kidding.